welcome. Welcome back to a show that has been created by a highly sensitive, high functioning, wildly messy, creative who has also made plenty of money in the arts. Yes, it is possible. It is made by me and it is made for you if you are also highly sensitive, highly functioning, and wanting to make money as a wildly creative, slightly messy, easily overwhelmed adult in the arts. We call it the Creators Club right now, but I don't know. That could change because we are creators. And this week we had a action pack week. So this is, remember, made for you if you are any combination of super sensitive, creative, wild, messy, determined, purpose driven. And it's also made especially for you if you are so ready to bring something new, an idea, a passion project, or a business into this world. It is the coaching and the mentorship and the teaching and the guidance that I wish I would have had. And as a former music coach and educator, I was very well adept. I became a master at doing things with my clients, showing them something, teaching them. But before just sending them out into the world, being there, doing it alongside, learning alongside, up leveling alongside. And that is something I think that's missing from the coaching industry now. Everybody's trying to build their own business with their own passive streams of income so that they can just record things and be on their way. And we're starting to miss the do it with you component at an affordable price. So, this week we are talking about a lot of things. Let's dive right in. There are two energy sucking stories that every creative must learn to not tell, but retell over and over every time we hear the energy sucking stories come up in our brain, and they will, but we have to learn how to retell them, reparent them almost, if we want to ever really give birth to something new. Because creating something new, whether it's a baby, a business, or a passion project, requires two things: your time and your attention. And when you want to give your precious time and attention to something, when you literally want to conjure something out of thin air at first, it's invisible in your creative mind, and you want to give it breathing, body, and legs, something that's tangible, something that's real, out of the invisible swirl of creativity and your co creation with the divine. These are the two stories that will slow you down or stop you completely. Are you ready? When you hear, I'm exhausted, I'm not talking about that when it's real and you actually just need to go to sleep or lay down or get some food or whatever refueling you need. I'm talking about I'm exhausted when it means something else. It's a cover for something else. The other story is I'm stuck. And a very popular way that I'm stuck shows up is I don't know. When you say I'm stuck or I've been stuck or I can't figure this out or I just don't know, all of your power, all of your creative power is cut off from the source. And your brain loves I don't know because then it means I don't have to anymore. I don't know means I'm done a lot of times, or at least frustration. So if you're trying to give your precious time and attention to something, but you have I'm exhausted and I'm stuck looping somewhere and you can't even hear it, it's like literally trying to drive with the gas and the brake pedal on at the same time. And that, my friends, is exhausting. And it will keep you stuck and you will go nowhere every time. But it can be hard to get out of these stories because they don't feel like stories when you're thinking them. And in fact, any emotion, it feels real, right? And it is real when it comes to emotions a lot of time. But these stories, they feel real. They will present like the only truth, like a fact. When you say I'm exhausted, literally, you can't argue with yourself. No one can argue with you because that would sound really unkind and inconsiderate. I'm exhausted. Are you really? No, you're not. Don't be exhausted. We don't hear that. When you say I'm stuck, no one's going to argue with you, or we're going to be like, well, don't be so pushy or don't be so condescending. In our culture, you don't push up against someone who says I'm exhausted or I'm stuck. They're like magical walls that stop any idea or creation from moving even an inch forward. And here's the thing, what they really do well at is keep you safe by keeping you the same. They keep you safe by keeping you staying the same. And hear me, safety is good. We like safety. And in fact, now we've been building in the Creators Club 6 months of trainings and material that build safety in from various different angles in our nervous system, in our emotional well-being, in our mental systems, in our belief systems, in our guidance systems. Internal safety building is important. And we have now 50, 60, 80 courses that you can watch, mini courses, 10, 15 minutes or less, that you can watch anytime you want. And remember that they are there for you, because as we move into the next phase of actually implementing some of the business building, we can refer back to those. I had to surround myself with my coach's podcasts and videos for years before I was ready to give up the stories of exhausted and stuck. And once I did, movement felt great. I would literally think I was exhausted or I'm stuck all the time as a lazy replacement for I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm angry, or I'm sad. I just had kind of one go-to. So here's a few questions that I want to be like little checkpoints to you as you start to question and rewrite the stories of I'm exhausted and I'm stuck. When you think I'm exhausted, I want you to ask, is this exhaustion a signal of that I actually need to rest and refuel, or is it something else? When you hear I'm exhausted, I want you to consider asking, what do I want to do about it? So powerful. Do I want to lay down, or am I in some cycle of renewal and I need to do something like go take a walk, get some sunshine? It can be a very simple answer for exhaustion. You can ask yourself, is this an invitation right now for some self-care time? Like I said, do I need nourishment, fuel, water? Do I need to prioritize something? Is I'm exhausted, though, actually a catalyst for clarity? Is it asking me to clear away some of the noise in my head, realign with my core purpose, make simple decisions, and take a tiny aligned action that would actually put me back in movement? Because once you're back focused in something that you love, I bet exhaustion melts away. In the cases where it's not actually that you're sleepy or tired. The last thought I want to offer you for when exhaustion comes knocking, I want you to think, could I be empowered through pausing? If I took a deliberate break, is that what I need? Or is this a complaint or a cry for a help from some part of me that needs to slow down? And I'm really just saying I'm exhausted and I just need to hear that part of me. Okay, that's exhausted. When you hear the thought or get close to the thought of feeling I'm stuck, or if someone says, hey, what are you thinking you're going to do next about this project? And you go, I don't know how to, and you feel that whine coming on. I want you to consider, could this stuck be the next starting point? Am I stuck because I'm making a new decision? Is this an invitation to check in with my intuition, or to maybe innovate something new? Because the way I'm doing it, I've stopped myself. I don't like the way I'm doing it. Or maybe I'm thinking I'm stuck and I do need a moment of reflection because I'm going to pivot. I'm going to actually consciously do something different, but not from I'm stuck and I can't and I don't know, but because I'm seeing something, a new horizon. And that, either way you go, once you start answering those, as you break through the resistance, I want you to remember that I'm stuck could be that final point of resistance and showing you that breakthrough is actually really near. And resistance will show up as don't go any further, because you will change fundamentally if you do break through that resistance. So trusting your inner wisdom, that's going to guide you into the next step. And another thought to consider when you're thinking I'm stuck, transformation always happens, for me, for all my clients, from inside of discomfort. We go through something uncomfortable first. So when you feel stuck, remember that within that discomfort, you might be seeing that you're on the right track. When I start having problems, I have to remind my brain, this means we're doing it. We planned ahead of time on feeling scared and stuck and wanting to stop this train a long time ago. We planned ahead. So I literally think the thought, this is proof that my plan is working. When you feel stuck, when you feel exhausted, that can be proof that your plan is working, or any other of your problems. Okay, we also talked about this, the fact that the times when you say exhausted, but you really mean, I don't want to deal with this, or you say, I'm stuck because you really mean this is hard, or I'm scared, that's when it's time to take the right medicine. The right medicine in those scenarios is not going back to bed or hiding in a dark cave with some Netflix. It's going to feel like that's what you need. And I'm not trying to gaslight or toxic positivity or spiritually bypass here. I'm talking about the times when exhausted and stuck is not standing for the need to rest. So when it comes to doing new things and doing things you don't like, the medicine of mastering mastery will serve you. What is mastering mastery? We had a member in the club talk so eloquently and wisely about she's able to go out for these huge open water swims in the ocean. And she has all these thoughts that make that possible that I don't have, that if I were hanging out in Hawaii right now, I'd be like, I'll take a little dip, but then I better go in and get a hamburger. And she's out there for 3, 4, 5 hours swimming miles upon miles from bay to bay because she has thoughts about what she knows herself capable of doing, trust in herself, trust in what to do if bad situations that I would be terrified of comes up. She has worked through those. She has a different set of thoughts. And yet this same client could use these thoughts over in some of her other goals, but they don't even feel like they're valid. Like whether it be promotion or sales or marketing. The same thoughts that work for the ocean don't feel like they are possible at first for the new world. But you all have places in your life where you have already obtained mastery skill-wise and belief-wise. So you know mastery. And my job as a coach and some of your other coaches in the Creators Club is to help you tap in and use the mastery that you already have in other areas and apply it to the new areas. That speeds up your process. Any place where it feels scary or hard or new, you can borrow your own beliefs. And if you can't figure out your own beliefs, you can borrow some of ours. That'll get you moving again. The work isn't done by reading books. It's not done by following someone else's 12-step proven plan. It's done by turning toward yourself over and over again. When I'm helping someone master something on the piano or the cello or the guitar or the ukulele or the clarinet, doesn't even matter if I am a master myself, slowing down is always required to really see where the problem or the struggle is. Repeating a new way of being slowly as many times as it takes, and never putting yourself down because it's taking you too long or you have to go slower than you wanted to. And deeply trusting both yourself and the process of mastery itself to be able to do things for those around you, to be able to do things for you. There is a process that everyone is going through as we master things. Because when we're doing scary, hard, and new things, resistance, doubt, and frustration will come up. There is no version of actually some goal out there where you just slip right into the goal and you didn't have to shift yourself and go through the dark night and slay some dragons and have some shadow work come up. And if you think, oh no, I reach goals all the time and I never have bad emotions, then I'm going to venture to say that you're not being fully honest at the level of your biology, because your brain was designed, one part of it, to stop you from doing new things. So emotions come up when you do scary, hard, and new things. And if you make the resistance to those emotions or the emotions themselves mean that you should stop, you're never going to be able to become what you know you can become. If you make doubt mean that you're not good enough, you will sink into depression or worse. If you make frustration mean that it's going to be too hard, or you just can't deal with something, or you shouldn't have to deal with something, you'll distract yourself, self-sabotage, choose other things. You'll quietly quit before you even start. So I gave a couple examples this week. One, French tip nails and how I decided I never wanted to go into a nail salon because I don't like the smell, I don't like the feel, I don't like any part of it. But I really like French tips for a reason between me and me. I'm actually not that fancy of a person, but I love the nails and I want to be able to do them in 5 or 10 minutes or less. And I want it to be able to last 2 to 3 weeks. And I want it to be non toxic and I want it to be good for my nails and all these things. So, learning the process of this, I decided I'm going to borrow some of the other areas in my life where I have mastery, going slow, having fun with the mess. And let me tell you, mess occurred like third grade level, paint all over things, ruined clothes. Like I was not good. And don't even get me started about trying to paint something with your left hand when you're not left handed. That's tiny and needs precision. And now I have it down. My skills are there, my beliefs are there. It's a fun little 5 minutes for me. I had another story of mentoring someone right now who decided she wanted to write a Broadway musical, and she's 14. Knowing what she was signing up for from the outside, knowing there was going to be a huge goal and a lot of resistance along the way, when she asked me to be her mentor, I can't say no to a good mentorship opportunity. And I was like, let's do it. And all my job was to help when she was getting into that frustrating territory, give her the clarity of all you have is a decision to make. You make that and you go forward and keep clearing up. And I'll be damned, you guys. We got a musical and it's good. I'll let you know when it comes out, whether locally or on Broadway. So, hear this, the highest medicine for doing scary, new, hard things is deep trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your mentors, your teachers, your guides, your coaches, whatever you have. Trust yourself, trust in your support system, especially trust in the thing that you're doing. You're going to be partnering with the spirit of your business, partnering with the spirit of your baby, whatever that baby is. Trusting that spirit to inform you, creativity herself, trust all over the place. Because if you don't have that, then scary, hard, and new things are always going to stop you, especially when the anxiety, the fear, and all of that comes up. You will feel, it will make you feel like you're unsafe. And it'll be very wily on how to get you out of it. When you do have deep trust, though, you can do these scary, hard, new things. You can say scary, hard things. It won't sound like you're apologizing when you give your opinion. You can be outward, upfront, straightforward with your needs and your ideas. You can be unapologetically you without feeling like a narcissist or a selfish jerk because you know where you're coming from. You can speak and act in your full power and you radiate out deep trust. When you radiate out deep trust, you become magnetic because those around you feel, they can sense it. We can smell it in each other. They can trust you back because you have the trust in you. You'll come across very different if you're like, hey, here's what I'm doing. And I'm speaking to the people that are probably going to hate me. Very different than when you're like, oh my God, let me tell you the story really fast. Shut up and listen without saying any bad words at them. So, how do you develop deep trust and tap into the medicine of you, of deep trust on demand? One, you recognize and be okay with the fact that it takes time. You want deep trust to take time. That's good news. You also be okay with the fact that deep trust is multi-layered. You start somewhere, it might show up differently the next time. You allow it, and it's nuanced. That's the third one. Deep trust is nuanced. It might not make sense sometimes until you reconcile it. You have to be with it over time with all of its layers. And deep trust requires sinking into your body often as you can. I have one of these little rings. I didn't show the club this week. I don't know if you all have these little rings, but it goes over it's like a kind of hard metal, stainless steel, I think. And it really does a kind of Chinese massage sort of thing on your fingers with all your acupressure points and all of that. But it puts you in your body. Someone else in the club washes her hands because it really gets her in her body, the feeling of water. And she pictures all of the water going into the ground and what the water is doing and grounding her. So we have these different ways. Yes. Honestly, I think you can get these things on Amazon for like a pack of 10 for like $5 or something. I don't even know, but I'll go check it out and link to it soon. So I don't even know what they're called. Finger massage rings. Get them, hand them out to your friends. But whatever you do to start talking to your body, if you need help with that, you know where to get help. Okay. Lastly, I want to offer you this when it comes to implementing this stuff, bringing it actually into the world and using it in your business, using it with your projects. I want you to hear this. We usually start a business, create a business because we have a passion, but it's also because we want to make money. And we have to reconcile those things, that we want to do it consciously, do it socially consciously, do it spiritually consciously. It's got to align with our values, but we also are doing it because we want to have ease and abundance and sufficiency in our own safety and survival around money. So hear this: making money is a skill, keeping money is a discipline, and multiplying money is an art. That is a paraphrased quote from Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I should have gone and checked that out. I apologize, but I love it. It just washes over me. Making money is a skill, which, by the way, is a very different skill than when you start to multiply money. Because when you're receiving money, you got to work on the skill of receiving, creating offers, creating value, and then receiving is the skill. Keeping money and spending money in a way where you always still have money is a discipline. Totally another skill you can learn. Comes with a set of beliefs. And multiplying money is an art. Different skill. It's an art where your skills start to let go of money again, and you will have had to walk through the steps and work through the fires and the emotions of making money, receiving money. If you don't do that, you will not be able to let it go. I keep iterating back on all three of these. So that's all of that is great news for us highly sensitive, high functioning artists, because when you realize you can make money as a wild, messy creative, that is a good day. When you start spending money in a way that allows you to always have money, that's a great day. And when you realize you can multiply money and have money go out there and work for you by letting it go work for you, that's a total game changer. But before we go throwing everything we got at the money thing, there is something that we have to open. And it might be a dirty word if you are a highly sensitive creative listening to this. It does make me and my purpose-driven creative friends squirm a little. But we must make friend. It's actually two words. The first word starts with O and rhymes with organization. Organization. And if that's not a dirty word, this next one might be. One of the most fun, most accessible, and free ways to get and stay and play with organization starts with an S, ends with a T. It is not a 4-letter word. It starts with an S, rhymes with ed sheets, spreadsheets. I am a recovering spreadsheet lover. I don't even know how to say that. The first time some of my business mentors, when I was going through a very big growth spurt in my first company, people were coming on board. Was it going to be more employees? Was it going to be training people to be more like me, and so I could step away from the business? Investors were interested. Like, people were saying, like, I believe in this. I believe in you. I was ready. I was ready for the growth spurt. And one of my mentors saw my vision and saw that I was going to actually grow on purpose. And he whipped up some spreadsheets to try to encapsulate what my vision was trying to say. And like you, I have no problems with coming up with ideas, painting pictures, coming from inspiration. Starting new things is my jam. I love the starting, but spreadsheeting, when he showed me those spreadsheets, I could see scenarios of what might have to happen if I was going to do the follow through, and how I might have to not know, but tweak each step of the way. And that made me wanted to crawl out of my inspirational, big vibration skin. And I don't even have problems following through when it's coming from my whimsical, I want to show up, I feel like showing up, especially if another human's involved. But to have an idea and give it legs, and then start showing up for it so that something far off in the future could happen. I burned a lot of things down before I was able to actually build them up. As soon as I saw the spreadsheet, I would literally get on the ground like I felt faint. I would lay down on the ground and start to move in like my stomach felt anxiety. I can't describe it to you enough. I was so uncomfortable. It felt like I was trying to control creativity, and I was, but it felt so big and impossible and scary, and it would bring up my not enoughness that I hadn't worked through. So there were things that I needed to work through that when I hadn't worked through them, my new projects did not work because I would get in the way. My emotions, my exhaustion, my feeling stuckness, my I can't see this, my not enoughness. When it was being displayed on a 10-year timeline, I was like, that is not going to happen. When I saw the amount of work and time I was going to have to put in, it shifted from get to have to. It was overwhelming. I would shut down. And here's the twist. Sometimes spreadsheets were helping me to see into a future that my intuition then would see as a no. And I didn't know how to decipher. Am I just nervous and don't want to do all this work? Or now that I see the spreadsheet, is that someplace I don't want to go? I actually do want to pivot before I even start. In those scenarios, in either of those scenarios, it's not the spreadsheet's fault. So I want to offer to you, if you haven't considered a specific form of organization before, or spreadsheeting around your business, around your money, around your creativity, I would love to, now that we're going to go behind the scene, we'll close this chapter of the recap call and the teaching moment and the storytelling, and we will go coach. So I want to offer you to send in or write in or whatever your thoughts are on organization, spreadsheets. Have you considered this before? This week when we talked about it in the club, I heard from some of you, this is something I have never even thought of. I don't mind spreadsheets for other forms of organization, but for my own life, my own business, my own creativity, that feels like blasphemy. So we're going to pause there and we'll coach, and I will see you next time.